Yo, yo,
Hey yo, hey
welcome in.
yo, hey yo. Once again, that sign is not
Welcome.
wrong. Oh no, oh no,
Gah!
there it is. Uh,
Thanks for
uh,
nothing, Rams.
oh no.
Biggest bunch of pretenders. Worst division leading team ever I've seen in the history of football.
Yeah, it makes you feel better. They're not leading the division anymore.
Good, good. But now the next step is do the right thing, NFL. Take them out of the league. They should get relegated to the XFL.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you guys for joining. Hopefully, you had a better weekend than the Rams and me because of the Rams. But thank you for tuning in. Hit us up in the comments. Give us a call at the link. We're just basically going to dive through everything that went on this weekend. Pretty good weekend in sports, especially when you throw in like I said, starting tomorrow. So looking to the other side of the weekend, NBA is going to start. And we also did have a championship boxing match and the last UFC event of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So a nice little slate there. Of course, college football championship weekend, um, conference championship, and then NFL. So thank you guys. As always, hit us up in the comments. Tyler, how was your weekend?
It was good, man. Just lots of sports watching. I mean, you just kind of ran down everything. I try to catch bits and pieces of a little bit of everything. Plus, we were talking in the pre-show. I did get to watch the Ted Lasso show, which is on Apple TV. Wink. Uh,
There are ways.
there
There are
are
ways.
ways. Which was actually really funny. If you haven't seen that, it's based off the skit that NBC Sports did with Jason Sudeikis playing a football coach going over to hire to coach a English Premier League team. Very funny show. Would definitely recommend it. But all in all, good weekend, Ronnie. How was your weekend? Outside of losing your last bet.
The incident, yes. That
Yes.
we'll talk about it. No, it
Yes.
was nice. A good red zone day yesterday. Just low key at the house. Watched red zone all day. And honestly, wasn't. It seems to go this way. It's kind of like we'll say on these like UFC fight nights. Like sometimes you're just like I don't know, but then you end up watching it, and there's a couple of great fights that come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot better, like closely played games than I thought we were going to see going into. So uh, definitely appreciate that. Also, that reminds me, I saw the video. I heard about it, but Tyler sent me the clip of Derrick Henry just making someone his son, a grown man has to call him dad now. I think forever. I think
Yep.
that's the rules. The
Yeah.
best part about it was the sound. Also, it was like, oh my god, he just like punched that guy's soul. That like, just
Yeah.
the sound of it was
Yeah.
incredible. But I'll grab a picture for it. Tyler sent it to me. But good day of football. Uh, didn't really catch any of the Saturday games. I mean, I know it happened, but I was at work for the first one, and then the second one was just kind of like, I don't care. But a little
Yeah.
college football, definitely saw the Canelo fight and just the very tail end of fight night. But a good weekend, safe weekend, uh, almost Christmas. Crazy to say, but also I completed my Christmas shopping over the weekend, so
There you go. That's a big deal right there.
a relief unlike any other, as Jim
True.
Nance would say. So
True.
let's start with a couple quick things. I know the NHL, as coy as they've been about this whole restart thing, they finally got on tentative agreement. Then today it came out that they are going to geographically realign for this season the divisions, so you can kind of see the split off there. So I mean, all the Canadian teams are going to be in one up north. Uh, Man, it
Which make
does
which
kind of.
make But I mean, it makes sense though because I think that you still have the quarantine issues if you're, a team if you're trying to
Yeah, you
travel
don't have to
into
worry about
Canada.
the border crossing thing. That seemed like the only way they could really do it, and they got enough teams there to just throw them all together. Um, Definitely a bit of distance there, shall we say? Montreal and Vancouver in the same division, so that's a little. Yeah, hey, what's 3,000 miles between
Yeah,
division
right.
foes?
Yeah,
And a couple, yeah, I mean, definitely gonna suck for fans of some of these teams. If you are a Canadians fan, sorry, but yeah, you got that 7 p.m. game in
Hey,
Vancouver.
look, Ronnie. I will have you know they've won the most championships. Granted, all of them were like pre-World War II, but still, they've won the most championships.
No, they have, they have. It's just funny to me that they've totally like disappeared, but yet they still have
Yeah,
Yankee level
yeah,
expectations and diehard fans. But
right.
um, kind of, I get why they did it, but yeah, some of the TV times are going to kind of suck for fans of some of these teams, especially going, fans on the East Coast, where your team might have got pulled more west, like I said, in the case of the Blues in Central Time, and it's going to be sweet when those games start at 9 p.m. But they did what they had to do. So far, everything that the NHL has done, like with the previous bubble after they resumed last season, worked out pretty well. And the NHL is not exactly the most forward-thinking and well-planned-out league, shall we say?
No.
So keep doing what you're doing. So far, it's working. But Tyler pointed me out, that they had announced this today, but this is the first time you can actually see it. I saw this nice little geographical map from the Let's Go Blues podcast, so shout out to them. But Tyler, your thoughts on this reshuffled NHL?
Yeah, I mean they're kind of following what baseball did, where hey, we're not going to do a bubble. Teams can still play their home games, but we'll just try to limit the travel as best we can. I mean, obviously Canada's the exception because you're still flying across the entire continent, but they're still going to do you only play all the teams in your division. I think it's a 56 game season, so you'll play everybody in your division 8 times, except for the Canadian teams may play 9 or 10 because I think they're one fewer team. But
one less, yeah.
I mean, it's fine. Look, it's freaking weird times. Do what you got to do to make it work, I guess. But look, I mean, like you said, the NHL's done.
Okay.
Yeah,
for them,
they've been
by NHL standards, they've been doing an amazing job. Like I never thought they could get out of their own way enough to coordinate this, but they've actually pulled it off. So I'm willing to go with it. And kind of like what we're saying, yes, it's one team short, but a league that has 7 teams in Canada, a border that you cannot cross right now, what are you going to do? You got to put them all in one division. So that's really all they could do. Just that time zone, that difference is pretty gnarly.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I haven't seen what the Sharks are going to do because they still can't play in their home stadium right now. I don't know if they're going to maybe go play in Arizona like the Niners are doing, but
maybe.
They've still got, I think it's January 13th is the start date, so they've still got a few weeks to figure it out, I guess.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I'm expecting the same thing with the NBA, not the realignment thing, just that, okay, this is not going to be a bubble situation again this time. So there's going to be not only, players contracting COVID at different times, games getting moved, made up, missed, whatever, but state to state, in this case, country to country, things are very fluid. So it'll be interesting to see how they coordinate this and if they make it all the way. I mean, I'm sure they will figure out a way to make it, but it's going to be, kind of day by day type situation. If this is what it feels like, especially now that they are traveling. Same thing with the NBA.
Yeah.
Man, I just feel like the Blues and the Canadians. That's tough. It's rough. If you're fans of those teams, the players, I mean, they're professionals. They're on planes all the time, but that sucks. Like if you're in Montreal and the game starts at 10 p.m., I mean, what are you gonna do?
Look, a good portion of your games are going to start at the same time with was it Ottawa and Toronto over there on the same side, but. Yeah, definitely when they go to Edmonton or go to Vancouver, that's going to be rough.
That West Coast swing is going to be a little bit of a tough layup there. All right, so that was the NHL. Like I said, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because they have pulled it off so far.
Sure.
Last season and now into we'll see how this goes, but that's the plan, and they're going to roll with that. I want to hit on the Premier League. West Ham played today, and they lost to Chelsea, but still, it's hard for me to really be upset given like the way this season started off and the way the last season ended. I was like, just stay in the league, and they're comfortably chilling in the middle. But a couple beatdowns this weekend. It's that Liverpool game, man, 7-0.
Oh yeah,
yikes! That was a bloodbath. Arsenal loses again. Where's my guy, actually? Where's my Arsenal guy? Do I still have him in here? Oh, yes.
Oh, man.
Look away. If you're an Arsenal fan, that's the best way to use that mask right now. I don't know what's going to happen to Arteta. It seems I don't know how much, I mean, I'm not privy to what goes on inside the actual organization, but the way he keeps talking about it, I don't know if he's doing this to sort of soften it, like the bad result. I mean, Arsenal might actually get relegated at this point. Yes, we're not, we're early in the season, but you're digging a deep hole right now. And that is disastrous for a team with that kind of money to actually get relegated or even be that close. Even at this point in the season, it's already like this is a dumpster fire right now. But the way Arteta is talking about it, every time he's speaking before or after the games, he keeps referring to the project, the people that the ownership and everyone trusted me. We have to rebuild this thing, the project. I'm like, okay, well, if they really have confidence in you, then I guess they would probably speak in the same term. But it is getting real ugly real fast right now, at least in the short term. Fans aren't trying to see that. So I'm loving it because I hate Arsenal, but it's getting pretty awkward over there.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of stuff online about people are like, man, we screwed up running Wenger out of there, and yeah, you reap what you sow. I guess that's a rough start. I mean, I can't say I feel bad for them, not really at all. But yeah, I mean, like I keep thinking to myself, they're too talented. Eventually, they're going to turn around and get back up into the top half. But I wouldn't mind it if they didn't. It would be pretty funny, actually. It would be funny. It would be very funny to see a historically top level club get relegated. I think,
especially if it's Arsenal. But I do think they will eventually at least get out of where they're going to get dropped. But it's not a good look. Not a good look at all.
Tough
and
luck.
The other, like, every game Leeds plays, it's just like, it's insane. Like, they only can play one way, and it's just balls out all the time. And that kind of blew up in their face this weekend. Manchester hung 6 on them. But that every time Leeds plays, even if you're not a Leeds fan, definitely check them out because
They're fun.
It's like watching an actual game of like FIFA on PlayStation or Xbox. It's just like up and down constantly. Like they cannot, if they have a lead, they can't sit on it. They just keep going, go, 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 go. That's all they do.
Yeah,
and
they never take the foot off the pedal.
A situation like this where, again, you're kind of leaving yourself open when you're just always going. And man, you just kind of clapped them this weekend. But those were the only two, as far as I saw the Arsenal game a little bit and the Man U Leeds game. Tottenham losing to Leicester. That's kind of a nice little shake up there. But,
they haven't done well against Leicester the last few years though. Like seeing Leicester kind of shut them out isn't that surprising. They, for whatever reason, they are like the Harry Kane whisperers. They're able to shut him down.
Shh, shh. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Exactly.
Oh, man, I can't even do a Harry.
No, nobody can do a Harry Kane impression. No, nobody can.
Do yourself a favor and look up a clip of this dude talking. It's insane. But that was the Premier League this weekend. Unfortunately, like I said, West Ham lost today. But I'm still satisfied. Let's just, for the most part, keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, they played well. Just didn't get the result. It is what it is.
Yeah. You can tell. Like, yes, you can win and lose, but it's just like, all right, the effort was there. Like,
yeah,
dealing with a little bit better team here. Let's just be honest.
As opposed to the last couple of years where it's Declan Rice busting his ass, Antonio chasing stuff down but kind of bungling it, but then 9 other guys just kind of like walking around. So
yeah, they seem to at least be together.
Yeah.
Cybermoy's got them all on the same page, so I'm into it.
That's right. The Moisaya.
The Moisaya. Let's cut over to the football though. College football, like I said, conference championship weekend. This is your playoff. The final selection here. Well, I mean, Ohio State, they won, so there was no way they were going to get in if they lost because they only played 5 games, or 6. But they took care of business. I mean, it was kind of, I don't want to say it was predestined, but pretty much inevitable that they were going to get in. Clemson, Notre Dame, the rematch this weekend. Notre Dame just got totally stomped out.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see too much of it, but I was just following along with the score, and I was like, I'm not surprised by that. And I don't think, obviously it didn't. I didn't think they were going to drop out Notre Dame. They already beat Clemson once, but maybe not a great look, and now you got to go play Alabama. That's your prize.
Yeah, yes, that's your reward. Yeah, I watched a bit of the game, but I mean, Clemson kind of had it well at hand pretty early, so I wound up watching the Mountain West Conference Championship instead. But I mean, hey, that's all right, baby. But and I know everybody in the world has been saying, it's different when Trevor Lawrence was there. Honestly, the biggest difference to me was Clemson's defense was healthy. I mean, look, when they played earlier in the year, Lawrence wasn't there, and Clemson still put up 50-something points, took up to overtime. Like I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to discredit.
He played fine. The quarterback.
Yeah,
he played fine.
Like,
the backup.
I'm not trying to discredit Lawrence. Obviously, they are a better team with him, but like Clemson's defense was healthy, and that was the big thing because Notre Dame could not move the ball at all. Obviously, kind of the big scuttlebutt was, should Notre Dame have been there? Look, I think you can make an argument for a bunch of different teams. I mean, really, I'll say this. This is the kind of year where the old BCS system would have gotten it right because there's two teams, and then there's two teams, and there's everybody else. Look, Ohio State's undefeated. I'll say this. Their play calling this weekend was god-awful until the fourth quarter when they finally stopped trying to make Fields throw the ball because he was not playing well. The team was averaging 10 yards per carry, and they were still trying to run the ball. Like, the offensive coordinator will have to explain himself to Ryan Day this week because that's terrible play calling. But even then, like, Ohio State is undefeated. They've done well. They haven't really they haven't been like that great team. Like, when I see all their games this year, I'm like, I don't measure them up to Alabama and Clemson. Maybe they'll get it together in the playoffs. They've done it in the past. But
the talent is there. Like, they have good players.
Absolutely. Oh, of course the talent's there, but they just haven't put it together.
It just seems like, especially, I mean, kind of the way the whole Big Ten has gone this season. So they basically literally had to, do whatever they could just to play the minimum amount of games required to get in the conference championship game.
Which they didn't do. Yes, which they did not do.
So it hasn't really blown, anyone off the page what Ohio State has done. They're good, but I guess it's bright lights time. We'll see what they're really all about now. But just kind of a curiosity at this point because you just haven't even seen that much of them. Like, it's just like, all right, they won 6 games and now they're in the playoff. Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, there's you're going to hear it on every Twitter page, every sports talk radio show, everything on ESPN is going to be, of course, that debate for, did Notre Dame deserve number 4? Like I said, I think you can make an argument for and against it that's worth listening to. I mean, they got blown up by Clemson, but you also have to acknowledge they beat Clemson. Texas A&M, they had one loss, but show me their impressive victory this year. A 3-loss Florida team, if you would have put A&M in, you're putting them in the 4th spot. Guess what? They already lost to Bama by 20-something points.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw how that goes.
Oklahoma, 2 losses. Where's their impressive victory? Again, Florida, 3 losses. They're out. Cincinnati, I'm not saying Cincinnati would have beat Bama, but hell, give them a shot. I mean, the fact that the first college football poll they were in was 7th, and they only dropped from there despite not losing, tells you the committee was never going to give them a real shot anyways. But, I mean, hell, I think they've got just as good an argument as anybody else.
I agree. I mean, definitely Coastal Carolina, yes, it sucks they didn't get their conference championship game. But even undefeated, they were just not going to get in. I mean, they had a nice – probably the signature win was over BYU. I'm glad they put that game together. Actually, it was a great game, by the way. But
it was a great game, man.
Cincinnati, I think, did have a better resume. That's kind of the really tough one here. But it's, it's been plainly obvious that the playoff does not want to have anyone outside of these 5 conferences getting in. Like, they just don't want it.
Yeah, I think what really sucks is, Cincinnati, good for them. They're still going to get a New Year's Six bowl. They're going to play Georgia in the Peach Bowl. But then you got, Coastal Carolina undefeated. They're playing in the FBC Mortgage Cure Bowl against Liberty. You got San Jose State goes undefeated. They're playing in the Arizona Bowl against Ball State. Even BYU, one loss, granted, even if they were undefeated, BYU is probably never going to get real consideration. They have a great season. They're playing in the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl against Central Florida.
Boca.
Yeah. So, I think it sucks. Those guys had great seasons, and they're kind of not, other than Cincinnati getting the New Year's Six Bowl, they're kind of really not getting any Features Bowl to, again, it's both. Let them prove themselves. Let them prove they don't belong. That's kind of always been my philosophy. Is they did what they needed to do. Now, put them up against the big boys. See what happens.
And I actually heard, I want to say this was maybe a week ago on Dan Patrick's show, that a caller called in, and it was right when this fallout, you could see what was going to happen. Mid-major teams were not going to get in, but then it's all right, well, maybe they don't want to have, a game they know is just going to be a blowout, whatever. And this guy actually brought up a great point. I think it's since the playoffs started, something like 70% of the games have been decided by more than 2 touchdowns. So it's
Sure.
There are a lot of blowouts. Just run them out there. Let's let them play. The curiosity of it, at least, then you'll know.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, because we only have 4 spots. I do wonder if maybe they expand it to 8 teams or I'm fine with 8, any more than that, whatever. 8 I think is good.
8, I wonder if it's the perfect one. It adds one more week.
Right.
I wonder, there's always going to be someone on the outside oh, number 9's pissed. But at that point, you don't, I won't really feel bad for them. I feel for number 5 sometimes,
Right. But I also wonder if expanding that would kind of maybe make these players, not everybody's going to go to Bama now. Because when there's only 4 playoff spots, you want to go to the playoffs, so you're going to go to those same couple teams that are in there every year. If there's 8, maybe some of these recruits are no, I'm going to go to whatever. I'll go to Georgia. I'll go to Iowa State because they got a shot. I can still make the playoffs there. So I don't know.
Yeah, Texas or something like that. I don't have to go over to LSU or Alabama just to know I'm going to be in the playoff.
Right. Yeah. I could go to go to the U, go to Louisville, go to wherever, just somewhere. So I don't know. Look, I'll watch the playoffs. I'm not surprised at all by the rankings, and I kind of think we're just going to get same old hat, Alabama, Clemson into the finals and go from there. But yeah, we'll see.
And Justin going even bigger. How about a 12 team? I mean, the excitement would be real, but these schools can't even get they won't even entertain an 8 team, which I think most people think would be ideal. Yeah. And they're not even really seriously entertaining that, but 12 team would be amazing. Now we're getting into March Madness type situation.
That's it. 64 teams. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think didn't Mike Leach try to campaign for a 64 team playoff?
He would. That guy is something else. That's a good guy.
He's a free thinker.
And the Baron chiming in. What happens if one or more of the top 4 gets the Rona? What happens if anything? College football's just been flying by the seat of their pants this whole season. 6-0 Ohio State is number 3, so they will figure it out because of the money involved. They'll play it, but it would get complicated.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they'd probably they say, "Well, can you play?" And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if we didn't hear about any corona outbreaks because these 4 teams want the money. So yeah, we may not hear of any outbreaks for the next few weeks until the playoffs happen.
And then, I mean, one other one, actually, friend of the program, Cowboys Insider, Justin, and Tyler and I watched this game on Friday after our show. USC goes down in the conference championship game. And then, sorry, Brad, for bringing it up, but USC goes down and then says, we're just not going to do the bowl game. I thought that was kind of a cop-out, but, I mean, you can justify it. It's Corona year.
Well, you gotta love, man. This was kind of what happened in the Pac-12 is the ultimate Pac-12 thing because you have Washington wins the North, USC wins the South, Oregon wins the conference. Colorado's the highest ranked team.
Yes.
Pac-12, ladies and gentlemen.
Pac-12 and coronavirus. You knew it was a recipe for insanity.
Yep.
So that's where we're at, though. Yeah, Notre Dame, maybe, if there's any possible chance that they can get one of those 4 spots, the playoff wants them in there because they draw TV ratings. I mean, people aren't going to be at the game. Brian Kelly's pissed off that families can't go. They almost played themselves out of it.
Well, now families can go. Now that families can go and they can watch their kid get absolutely destroyed by large grown men that'll be playing on Sundays next year.
Are you sure this is what you want, Notre Dame? All right. You asked for it. You got it. But that's what we have to look forward to in the playoff. You got to say 2-3 is very intriguing just because, like we said, don't really know that much about Ohio State just because they have not played that many games.
Yeah.
They have good players, but you just haven't really seen them a lot this season. I don't think Alabama has a problem with any of these 4 teams, but certainly not with Notre Dame. Let's just be real.
Yeah, I mean, I think on paper, obviously, Clemson gives them the best shot, but I think it is very clear to me that Alabama has been head and shoulders the best team this year.
Yeah. Even with, 1 and then almost 2 bouts with having to bring Cyber Saban in.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they've just, cruised along like no problem.
Cyber Saban, the only thing more terrifying than the real Nick Saban.
And there's not that many things more terrifying than real Nick Saban.
That's very true.
All right. I'm not going to answer, so stop asking, all right? I do love me some Cyber Saban. I had to say that.
That is horrifying.
All right, this is a good sort of transition to the NFL. If you're Lawrence, you just totally shit yourself in the semifinal in hopes you can avoid the Jets or Jags. I think it's out of his control at this point. One bad game is not going to stop either of those teams from drafting him.
The only way he's not going number 1 is if he just pulls out of the draft completely.
Yeah, just out on the field, cuts his own leg off. Please don't draft me. Okay, well, the man has spoken. He does not want to play for either of us.
Hey, look, we can do amazing news prosthetics, so that may not even be enough.
That's true. I mean, they have Cyber Saban now.
That's true.
Anything's possible. But let's talk about the NFL. We had 2 games on Saturday. Buffalo showed out. They are kind of one of those teams that's just getting it all together, kind of clicking at the right time.
Yep.
And they won the division first time since 1995. I do love me some Bills Mafia. Just a bunch of drunk idiots going through tables. Who doesn't love that?
That's right.
Not really a surprise there, but I didn't even see the Carolina Green Bay game. I mean, it was kind of a foregone conclusion. Green Bay takes care of business. I
did get to watch a bit of it. I mean, Green Bay jumped out early and then just completely took the foot off the gas. It was,
which they always do.
That's exactly
Green Bay.
Yeah, it's you said that so many times in the show. It's just they've had one impressive full game this year. I think that was against the Bears when they just absolutely never took the foot off the gas. It's
real. Yeah, this is a game. Realistically, Packers should be winning by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
probably 3. Let's just be honest. But they always just kind of we got it, and then just it's in the bag, and then the other team creeps back up on them.
Yeah. It was just when I hear people, I'm not saying he's having a bad season at all, but it's when I hear people talk about how Rodgers should be the MVP, I kind of just look at the performances here and I think, should he be? His numbers are awesome. Don't get me wrong, but it's I don't know. I just feel like there's so much more they could be doing.
Yeah, just I mean, I had the same kind of thing about the Browns, but they convinced me. All right, they are winning some tough games, so they're playing good even in the games they lose. that Monday night game.
Mhm.
So like, all right, all credit due to the Browns. I'm on board. I believe the hype train. But the Packers, like the record is the record, but I don't know. They just have that kind of like whatever attitude. I feel like it's just gonna bite them at some point.
Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, I know home field advantage is a big thing, obviously, especially being in Lambeau, where it's just going to be
Yeah, Green Bay.
cold, snowy, whatever. But I also think like their biggest weak spot is the run defense, which like in those conditions in Lambeau, the other team is going to run the shit out of the ball. So it's like, is that really going to be a home field advantage for them? I don't know. I still have so many questions about this team that is, I think 1 or 2 wins away from clinching home field advantage in the NFC. So I don't know. The NFC is just really weird this year.
Oh, for sure. Don't even get me started on the East, but here we go. Tampa Bay goes into Atlanta, actually wins. Atlanta showed some fight.
Atlanta blows it again against Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, that's, the Atlanta factor, but a little, again, just if it's going to be a Falcons thing where you blow it, that's fine. That's what you guys do. You're into that. It's cool. Whatever. But just a little softening the blow. I mean, I've already given up on the Raiders this year. I wish it was already the draft. But, hey, he kind of hung tough with the Bucs there a little bit.
They were up 17-0 at the half. Like,
I didn't want to get into that. I didn't, yes, we know. But still, I wish I still had the picture of the that's pretty classic stuff that the actual Falcons Twitter account for the Chargers game just did the Spider-Man meme.
The Spider-Man point.
We have no idea. We have no idea what weird crap is going to happen in this game.
True.
Justin, Cowboys get the win. One of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen
such a weird ending.
A onside kick get returned and then the other team hit the Hail Mary. Ended up meaningless, but I don't know if I've ever seen that in the history of the NFL.
No, you got to think it's rare that you see the onside kick returned for the touchdown. Hail Marys, I mean, they happen, but they're still fairly rare. So then you get them back to back. It's just like, what is this game?
Perfectly Cowboys, perfectly NFC East. Just all the randomness that you can imagine in one game, they will find it. But speaking of that game, it's always a good time to bring in our Cowboys insider, Justin, to the program.
Here we go.
Here we go. Corey's Market Liquor Hotline. Joining us now.
They check IDs.
They do check IDs, so please.
They check IDs. They can check this ID. No ID.
They can
no
check
ID,
this
check
two-game.
in.
They can check this 2-game win streak for Scott Farkas, baby. That's what they can check.
It was who was it? Kevin Harlan, I think, was on the call for CBS, and the fact that he brought that up just kind of made me laugh. I don't think it was like a shot, but it was kind of like in my mind, like, hey, the first winning streak for Mike McCarthy. I was like, oh, you had to throw that out there, but I mean, it's the NFCs.
I mean, I think I told you guys last week. I said I don't expect them to get first half turnovers the way they did, but clearly I was mistaken. They had some huge turnovers. I think Wilson being healthy in the secondary at the safety spot has made a huge impact. I think the guy in limited play this year, they mentioned it during the broadcast, has 2 fumble recoveries, a couple sacks, a couple interceptions. He's just a ball hawk, he makes plays. So that definitely helps the defense. They look good. I heard Leighton Vander Esch is out. He's got some ligament damage in the neck area again, so that's problematic. But hope is still alive. Everybody else in the division lost. You got Panthers and Redskins this week. Cowboys play the Eagles, so Cowboys. Panthers and football. Excuse me. Panthers and football team.
Football team, please, sir.
Well, sorry, they've been going back to playing like the Redskins, so I had to call it what it is. So, football team and Panthers this week. If the Panthers can get a win, Cowboys can take care of business against the Sheagles, then we're still in position. So. Anything can happen. Crazy NFL for sure. But you guys, I will say, I know we were kind of back and forth when that Ravens-Browns game, the way that one ended a couple weeks back, and what that did to the point spread, and for the bettors and for the betting line. That was the first thing I did immediately when I saw CD return the touchdown, the onside kick. I was like, let me check the line Let me see if anybody wants money. Let me see if that was because that was a pretty when he picked it up, I'm thinking, okay, he's just going down, and he took like maybe 2 strides, and I was like, oh, dude, he's gone. There's nobody there. So that was a fun game to watch. Obviously, I was sweating bullets, but once we got the security touchdown, and we were up by 2 scores, I was pretty confident at that point. So
you could see that in the replay when he caught the ball onside. There was like that split second where he's like, his natural instinct would have been to go down, and then he looked around and was like, oh, never mind, I got this.
Right. If you're just giving it away, all right.
And sure enough, dude, like the coverage unit looked at him the same way the Atlanta Falcons coverage unit looked at that spinning ball back in like
everybody kind of circle around and
like, do we touch him? Do we tackle him? So it was crazy. But like I told you guys last week, hope is still alive. So I'm still we're living on a prayer, man. We're living on a prayer.
The combination of those things, though, we were just talking about. All right, it's very rare, but it does happen. Onside kicks get returned for touchdowns. It's happened. Yeah. It's happened to the Raiders, whatever. But I don't think I haven't seen, like ESPN stats and research. I don't know if it's ever happened where you're already, at that point where if you get it, it's probably going to be a Hail Mary anyway. They return the onside kick, and then you still get the Hail Mary. Like, I've never seen that sequence ever in my.
And I love obviously I'm biased watching that game, but I love dudes celebrating after, like, yeah, boy, you got it. I'm thinking, yeah, boy, that shit doesn't mean shit. So
I mean, to a certain community, there could be relevant implications, but in entertainment purposes only. Just again,
I'll tell you what. Nick Mullins don't got the arm for that. That had to be beat hard, bro. Like, he put that one up nice, man. That was a hell of a throw. That was about 50 yards in the air, and he put it in a great spot. And they made a great play on it. So thank God it was meaningless. Thank God it didn't affect the final outcome. And what else would you expect from this monster defensive unit in Dallas? Clearly, you'd expect nothing less than the opposing team to catch a Hail Mary and 5 of our guys to fall down like they just got hit with like a Mario Kart turtle shell or something. They're all spinning. Like it was too much, man. So good stuff though, man. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed the win. Let's get 2 more, and let's hope the football team goes back to playing like their former selves. And What? Sorry, I was just going to finish. That's the Riverboat Ron revenge game right there, if I'm not mistaken. So Panthers got to be fired up,
Well, the one thing I was going to say is it's kind of strikes me as like how the Giants and football team felt like maybe 3 weeks ago, where it's like, hey, season hasn't been good. We got injuries, whatever. And then they like wake up one day and like, oh, man, like we're 1 game out of first place. And then you felt like they were actually back invested in playing. I feel like the Cowboys and the Eagles now with Hurts kind of just giving them a little spark are actually back like, hey, the season has sucked, this year has sucked, whatever, but we might actually be able to win. So
we could salvage this. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Hey, that's why they play, man. That's why they play.
Because somebody contractually has to win that division.
Exactly.
I think it's in the rules. I think it's in the rules.
3 of the teams are going to pick in the top 10, and somebody else is picking in the teens. That's just the way it's going down. You know what I mean?
Man, what a year. Well, thank you, Justin, as always. Joining
thanks for having me, guys.
Our Cowboys insider. We'll catch up with you a little bit, later on down the road. But, hey, I'm all for the chaos. Give them hell. Yeah.
We love NFC East chaos on this show, man, for sure.
Right. That's true. It's very true.
Have a good one, gentlemen. Merry Christmas.
You too, man. Thank you.
There he goes, ladies and gentlemen, on the Corey's Market Liquor Hotline. Once again, Corey's Market Liquor, 1528 University Avenue. We check IDs. Now, moving on down the slate. Detroit at Tennessee. Again, this is Derrick Henry feast season. He did what he does in spectacular fashion, which I'll get into in a second. But and Justin did point this out earlier. It's a fair point. Let me go back to my comments here. Where was it? Not that it makes it okay, but that was a 4th-string line safety. Still a professional football player.
It's still a grown man and a pro football player.
A grown man and a groaner man flexing his more groanerness all over him.
But yeah, Derrick Henry became, I think it was the fourth player all time to have back-to-back 1,500-yard seasons. He's still got 3 games to go, man. 2,000, not out of, or no, 2 games to go, excuse me.
I can only do the screenshot, copyright reasons. But, I think
it's not out of the realm of possibility.
With him, anything is possible because it's just like, yes, he's there all season, but this is like where they're just like, all right, this is the guy. Nobody wants to tackle him. Nobody wants any piece of him. We can give him the ball like 40 times a game, and it just gets better and better and better for us.
He's like 6'3", 250, so by the time the third quarter rolls around, it's cold, you're sore, you make those business decisions like, I'm not even going to try to tackle this guy. No,
please do go seek out this clip, though, because especially pay attention to the sound. The sound chilled me to the core. It was like, oh, my God. Like, nobody wants a part of that.
Also, Ronnie, we have a final here. Pittsburgh 17, Cincinnati 27.
Let's go, Bengals. My boys. As you know, the Steelers are on my permanent never touch with a 20-foot pole gambling list. Or sliding into fantasy also.
There you go.
Moving on. New England, I believe now officially out of the playoffs for the first time.
They are.
In, seems like forever.
It's 12 or 13 years. I can't remember.
Yeah. Nice win for Miami. It was kind of a little closer there for most of the game. You know, Belichick, the rookie quarterback thing that we already ran into earlier with Tyler's Chargers. That's
Tua had a little bit better.
Yeah.
Not that he had a great game, but he had a little bit better.
Yeah. But Dolphins really, especially like we were talking about when we on the Saturday games, they really don't have a choice. Like, they got to keep winning because the Bills are like hitting their stride right now. So a nice must win, especially like the day after. So you already know what the Bills did. Just kind of keep up. I mean, I know the Bills got that division, but they just got to keep winning.
Yeah.
Chicago at Minnesota.
Who are these Bears? Who are these Bears? All of a sudden they have an offense.
And what have they done with the real Bears?
Yeah, seriously.
Hey man.
Yeah, I was not expecting. I mean, maybe a Bears win, sure, but like I was thinking like a 20-14, like if that, 17-14 maybe. But nah, man, this Bears offense the last few weeks, they've come to life. I'm confused when I watch them. It may be too late. I don't know, but
none of this makes sense. Why
it doesn't?
Shouldn't be happening.
It doesn't.
But they're still, out there in the hunt. As they say, NFC's weird. We all know. Speaking of that NFC East, the weirdest of the weird, tough L for Washington. I was worried about this going in because of no Alex Smith. And Seahawks are still good. Yes, they've kind of fits and starts this year, but it's gonna be tough. Like I said, I kind of just felt that with football team a couple weeks ago, where I was like, all right, look, they know their limitations. Their defense is pretty good. Quarterback situation is not ideal, but it just felt like they kind of realized at some point, like, hey, we still have a chance, and then performances reflected that. But I think they're just kind of running into the reality of the situation. Like, you're down to you're down to your first pick that you benched.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, it's all coming back around. Like, I don't know. I think out of the 4 teams, I'm losing hope for football team.
Look, their defense is still really good. Their defense is really good.
Their line is one of the better ones.
It's terrifying, yeah. But their offense is just so bad. People have always given Alex Smith credit. Like, he's always been a fine quarterback. But it's amazing how noticeable is the difference between just a fine quarterback and then Dwayne Haskins, who also reportedly after the game was seen at a strip club with no mask. But if you're at a strip club, do you need a mask? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you're already in a little too deep at this point. I mean, it's a pandemic, bro. Not a good look. It's all kinds of bacterias and things floating around.
Yeah, so Seattle, again, able to survive, get the win. They now have the 1-game lead in the West, which we'll talk about that in a moment here. Washington still has the lead in the East because most of the teams lose. They're up 1 game on the Giants and the Cowboys. The loss here did guarantee that the winner of the East at best will have a 500 record. That's if Washington wins the next 2 games. So we'll see what happens. That division obviously still way up for grabs.
Anything's possible, and I love it. Yeah. Baltimore, Jacksonville.
Not much to say.
They got some good news, with what the Jets did. We'll get to that game next, but at least I will say this was a game that, just show it for once, put it together, and just beat up on a crappy team, and Baltimore did that. So a good look for them because you just never know. They seemed like they level out at the competition.
Yeah, I mean, it's never been a lack of trying for Jacksonville. You could tell they're trying, but Baltimore finally showed okay, this is why we were that really dominant team last year. They finally show it against an inferior opponent. So good luck for Baltimore. Now they're going to move forward. They still have to obviously they're eliminated from the division race, but they're still sitting pretty. Or are they? Actually, they might be 1 game out of a playoff spot. I can't remember, but they still got to bring it the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. And to the complete opposite of that, Rams, go to hell. I hate you guys. Look,
I'm sorry, man.
Beat the Jets. Show up and beat the Jets. Get on them early. They want to lose. It behooves them to lose at this point. Mm-hmm. So, kind of at this point, I feel like who's most happy about this? Our boy Adam Gase. Because he knows he's going to get fired. How else can he stick it to the Jets on the way out? Might have just cost you Trevor Lawrence. What's up? But man, you had 10 days to prepare for this, Rams. The Jets.
I can't. Yeah, Jets they came out right off the bat and just punched the Rams in the mouth, and the Rams kind of didn't know what to do. I mean, look at a guy that we saw play in early January 2002. We saw him play for Miami. That was, I believe, his junior year. We were at that Rose Bowl game, and he's still in the NFL, getting yards, getting touchdowns, sealing a game, catching a pass, and falling backwards on his ass 2 yards. Frank Gore, the ageist wonder, man. But it's. I mean, I do like your point about Gase. It's one thing when you talk about tanking. I've always kind of felt tanking is that's more of a front office philosophy. Players can't really afford to tank because you'll get cut and you'll be out of a job.
Oh, yeah.
So it is kind of funny. That is a good way that Adam Gase is look, if you're going to fire me, screw you guys. You're not getting the number 1 pick anymore.
And, yeah, so he's definitely, actually going to try to win games. Like you said, the players aren't going to try to lose games. I mean,
right.
The front office would love if they did lose because Trevor's out there. I mean, you're talking about if you get this guy, and yes, the Jets factor will probably come into play, even if you get him and you'll ruin him, and it will suck for him. But potentially that's the next 10 years of your franchise. Gase is going to be gone. You get sacked in the morning, but he can just on his way out, just take that away from you.
So I'm curious if they do wind up getting the number 2 pick because it's pretty much, a lock that Lawrence is going to be the 1 pick. So let's say if the Jets fall to number 2, do they not go for a quarterback and stick with Darnold?
Yeah, I don't know. As I've been saying on here, I think he will benefit from just not having Adam Gase around and all that goes on with him. But it's tough. I mean, there's probably 5 quarterbacks I feel like it's going to get drafted in the first round this year, maybe 4 or 5. So if they do want to go that way, obviously there's Lawrence and then, the rest, but they got needs all over the field too. So that's tough. I don't know. But the fact that, Gase is super jacked up about, he's I know I'm getting fired.
Oh, yeah.
On that. Yeah. There's that win. You like that? You like that?
You like that?
Real quick, I think we're going to run out of time. We have to push the fight game to Wednesday. But Philadelphia and Arizona.
What a game
for Jalen Hurts. It was a really good game. I think the story, for everyone that watched on TV was Aqib Talib and his commentary, which was stunning. And I At first, I was like, "What is happening? Like, is this really happening right now?" But it kind of grew on me. I'm not gonna lie, kind of grew on me.
Yeah, when you sent that meme in the group text, I was dying. I was dying so hard at that.
Yeah. If you ever hear Aqib Talib talk, then you'll get that reference. But it was entertaining. He a little unpolished, definitely. I think he's only done one other game for Fox, some Panthers game earlier this year. But he does know what he's talking about. He was in the league for like 10 to probably 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
And he's a little more approachable, I guess. There's no like cliche kind of things. He's just like seeing it and just telling you what he's seeing. So it was kind of refreshing. I enjoyed it. It kind of struck me as sort of like a different, like maybe Fox's future version of like Tony Romo, someone that just likes football and just sort of, likes watching it, talking about it. Or like ESPN had Pat McAfee on some college games, just like someone that will just sort of, just say what they feel. And it's not like a big, just all trying to use technical terms because they feel like they have to, like high point the football. Like, and it's like, all right, well, you can just talk like, we're sitting at the bar watching the game. But I enjoyed it. And Jalen Hurts, nice game for him too. I feel like if anything is going to maybe give the Eagles a chance, honestly, kind of just not having Carson Wentz is already like a boost. Just it's like we got to just change it up. But their offensive line is so bad. Having Hurts, someone that can just like keep plays alive, like that's all that you can really do right now. Like he's got limitations obviously, but you got to be flexible in this situation. And I think that's the only thing the Eagles can do. And he had a great game. I think he had 3 touchdowns. Didn't really. He got maybe a couple lucky breaks here and there that plays that Cardinals maybe could have turned him over on, but especially the fumble that he picked up and then threw for a first down. But kind of encouraging, I guess, for Eagles fans just to get I think just like the fresh blood, just kind of like the rest of the team seems to be like at least picking up on it.
Just the non-Carson Wentz. That's
just
what it
the
is,
non-Carson Wentz factor, really, yeah. And then the last afternoon game, Kansas City, New Orleans, pretty good game. Drew Brees just looks real hurt. It looked uncomfortable.
Yes,
he is old. Again, I still don't know what was going on with the. He broke 11 ribs. I was like,
11 broken ribs. Yeah.
Like I'm not doubting that he has 11 broken ribs, or he did at that time, but on that hit, I feel like he was probably already pretty hurt.
He probably already had 8 broken ribs, and that one hit knocked the other 3 out.
That was like, oh man, I couldn't twist like that. And also, I'm like 40. Oh wait, it's all catching up to me. But ended up being a good game. It's just, like we've been saying, no one can keep up with the Chiefs. Like,
no, can't do it.
If they want to go, they can just go and score on any team in the league in like 3 plays. Like if they're really just hitting. And Mahomes, it's only one Mahomes. Like he's just throwing sidearm, underhand, like whatever. He's just a freak.
Yeah. Not much else to say. Chiefs, they're impossible to keep up with. If there's any time on the clock, they're going to score. They might score twice if there's time on the clock. Any time on the clock,
just for fun.
Yeah.
But that was well, actually, I think I have the Sunday game there, but wasn't really anything noteworthy.
Wasn't good.
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But Cleveland take care of business again. Those are games you got to win. Like,
sure.
We're regarding you as a good team now. Like
they have 10 wins now. Can't knock them.
Yeah, beat up on the bad teams. It wasn't like they just totally stomped them out, but they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it. I know we're a little over time, so
sorry, Patrice.
Sorry, Patrice. Thank you, Northwest. But thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. We will get back with you on Wednesday, and the NBA is upon us tomorrow night. It gets going. So definitely looking forward to that, especially, we kind of, once that midweek action left us, it's like, what am I going to do during the middle of the week? Basketball's here to save us. Hockey's coming right around the corner. It's all good.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back here Wednesday. We'll talk more about the UFC event and kind of the NBA going on, any other action that comes up. So thank you guys so much for watching. We love you. You guys know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fight.